Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome na naman po sa isang napakaganda po nating gabi dito sa Alaga Health Live. Ako po si Dr. Dexter Galban at makakasama po natin ngayon ang iba po sa mga mental health champions at iba pong mga health professional na bibigay po ng tulong sa lahat po ng mga manonood natin ngayon dito sa Facebook page ng Alaga Health. At ngayon po, isa-isa ko po silang lahat tatawagin. Dahil ngayon po ay nag-celebrate tayo ng Mental Health Awareness Month. Ibig sabihin po ang month of May ay Mental Health Awareness Month. Kaya ang ibig pong sabihin nga tayo ay babalik tanaw sa mga pamamaraan kung paano natin mas papangalagaan ang ating mental health. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you po sa ating mga bisita ngayong gabi. Unang-una, tawagan na po natin ang ating resident doctor ng Alaga Health, Dr. Via Roderos. Say hi, Doc Via.
Magandang gabi po sa ating mga manonood, and to you, Dr. Dex, good evening, and to everyone who is here with us, especially our special guests. Good evening po, at sana ay magkaroon tayo ng isang masigla at isang makabuluhan na diskusyon tungkol sa pangkalusugang pangkaisipan.
Right, and next up, thank you for that, Doc Via. Next up, we have we're very privileged po, no? Kasi ngayong gabi, sinasamahan po tayo ng isang celebrity doctor. None other than Dr. Joan Rifareal, our resident clinical psychiatrist and also a regular celebrity physician in different programs like Salamat Doc and so many others. We're very privileged that she's here. Magandang gabi po, Doc Joan.
Hello. Good evening to everyone. Thank you very much, Dr. Dex, and of course, Dr. Via, my groupmate, forever groupmate, di ba? Thank you very much for having me. Good evening po sa lahat.
Thank you, Doc Joan. At alam niyo po ba na ang ating mga kaagapay sa mental health advocacy, hindi lamang po mga doktor. Kailangan pong malaman nating lahat na marami po pong health professionals ang kasangga natin pagdating sa mental health advocacy at mental health care. Kasama na po dyan ang ating mga psychologists, and we're so glad to have one of them with us today. None other than Mr. AJ Sunglao. Say hi, AJ.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Dex, for inviting me. And great to meet you, Doc Via, Doc Joan.
Okay. Thank you for that, AJ. We're very excited now kasi hindi lang po mga health professionals ang mga kasama natin. Kasama din po natin ang ating mga mental health champions. For example, representing the Youth for Mental Health Coalition, we have their national chairperson. Please say hi to us tonight, Miss Alyannah Lagasca.
Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Maraming salamat, Dex, and the rest of Alaga Health team for inviting Youth for Mental Health Coalition.
All right. Always a pleasure. And right now, also, we're very privileged to have one of the mentors and or coaches of the National Youth Commission's Mental Health Youth Hub and is also one of the directors of the Happy Hearts Initiative. And alam niyo po ba na ginanapan na siya ni Miss Julia Barreto? Sa Maalaala Mo Kaya, itinalang buhay na po ang kanyang kwento. And part of that is her mental health journey. So none other than Miss Ymari. Krisha, say hi to us, Ymari.
Hi everyone. Hi po, Kuya Dex, Nate Via, and to the rest po nakasama natin tonight. I'm very excited to be here po. Maraming salamat po.
Thanks, Ymari. And joining these two lovely ladies are two winners of Global Peace Foundation's Safe Space Heroes. First up, from the 2030 Youth Force in the Philippines, let us all welcome Mr. Joshua Cote. Kumusta tayo, Josh? How are you?
Hi, Kuya. I'm doing well. Hi, Ate.
All right. Thank you, Josh. And of course, joining him is another Global Peace Foundation awardee, Miss Sarah Fabito from WiTech, Batangas.
Hello! Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Salamat, Dr. Dex, for inviting us at WiTech. Thank you so much. And excited na ako sa magiging discussion natin ngayong gabi.
All right, that's great. So we're very happy that all of you are with us today. I'll give the audience a chance to see all of you at the same time. So keep your cameras on. There you go. Say hi to everyone. Right? Say hi! Okay. So, ngayon naman tayo ay tatanong na sa ating mga katanungan. By the way, sa lahat po ng mga nanonood ngayon, feel free to comment your questions. Kung meron kayong nararamdaman, whether it's about mental health or not, nandito kami para sa inyo. But of course, sulitin na natin kasi nandito ang ating mga mental health champions at ang ating mga mental health professionals. So, without further ado, let's check the comment section and please do send their comments through our Facebook page. But to kick things off, tanong ko na muna, sa ating mga guests ngayon, meron ba kayong mga tanong sa ating mga health professionals? Ymari, Sarah, probably Alyannah as chairperson of Y4MH, even Joshua. May tanong ba kayo kay Doc Joan, kay Doc Via, and kay AJ? So, we'll open the floor to you now. Siguro tanongin muna natin ang ating resident chairperson ng Youth for Mental Health Coalition. Kasi for sure, sa advocacy ng Y4MH, napakarami nyo nang nakausap at natulungan pagdating sa mental health concerns and challenges. Ano yung mga kalimitang tanong ba at ikinokonsulta ng mga kababayan natin na nagsastruggle when it comes to mental health?
Maraming salamat, Dex. Actually nga, during this time of the pandemic, mas lalong dumami yung mga katanungan ng mga tao. Given also the situations that we have right now. Siguro for my first question, ibig sabihin madami yung listahan ko pala. Para po sa una kong katanungan, marami po kasi yung mga kabataan right now na nagtatanong sa amin. This question is a very hard question to actually answer. Paano daw po kung ang kanilang pamilya ang kanilang distressor? Ano daw po ang dapat nilang gawin?
May napatango na kaagad, napatango sila Ymari. Sinong unang gustong samuga dyan? May we ask probably first our resident expert, Doc Joan. Ano po bang masasabi niyo dyan, Doc Joan?
Ayan, in-unmute na. Oh yeah, right. Thank you very much. And again, before we start, nice to meet everyone. First time ko kayong ma-meet, di ba? Nice to meet you all. Thank you very much, Alyannah, for that question. Yeah, I agree, no? In fact, even for those under my care, di ba? May mga ganun na concerns na, which is really understandable. So we have to acknowledge that na pwede talaga na mangyayari yon in the real setting, real life setting. So what we, of course, ang ano dyan, especially now, during this time of community quarantine, talagang it's more ngayon, felt ngayon, kasi nga magkakasama sa bahay ng prolonged periods of time. So mas nagiging mas frequent ang interaction. So of course, what we always remind everyone, especially for those under my care, is of course to maintain that the awareness is good because at least, di ba, awareness number one yan, very important yan kasi pag nagko-consult, syempre dapat alam natin na where is the stress coming from, ano ang reason for the stress, ano kaya yung mga potential triggers. So awareness of the potential triggers or sources ng stress is very important kasi doon nagsa-start always. And number two, because of the current situation now, so siguro mas heightened ang emotions ng lahat, is always to keep calm lang kasi nga nasa bahay tayo lahat, keep calm and have their own kung kaano talaga, have their own space. Siguro sa bahay nila, have a specific area kung saan doon muna sila, if they feel na very heightened ang emotions, kalma lang muna, because we know that boundary, of course, is very important. So at least sometimes may me time din sila. Set that boundary. Meron silang own space, set some boundary also para during that in that me time nila, quote unquote, and space nila. It's a safe space wherein they can do some relaxation techniques, di ba? Mga deep breathing, mga ganon. We know kasi na pag heightened ang emotions, yun pala. Pag heightened kasi ang emotions natin, nawawala, yung nagte-take over ang emotions more than the logical part of our brain. So our judgment can be clouded during those times of heightened emotion. So mas maganda. Ano muna tayo? Pull back tayo. Go to your safe space sa bahay. Go to your area. Kahit nasa banyo yun, di ba? Tapos kalma. Have that boundary first and then deep breathing and some relaxation before you go out. Para at least we do not say anything, di ba? Yan ang important. Wala tayong sasabihin or do anything na which is very difficult not to take back later on. So yun ang aking always reminder. Awareness pa rin ang key. Then let's do something about it.
All right. Thank you for that, Doc Joan. Always a good reminder na awareness is key. Then let's do something about it. And one of those is seeking help. Kaya nga meron po tayong weekly consultation dito sa Alaga Health. And it's for free. Just comment down below your questions and we'll be ready to answer. Maraming salamat po doon, Doc Joan. Sige, mapunta naman po tayo sa ating mga guests ulit, no? May katanungan kaya siguro si Joshua o kaya si Sarah bilang mga kabataan na nagawaran ng award bilang Safe Space Heroes. And sabi nga ni Doc Joan kanina, di ba? Safe space. Have your own...
Wow, yeah. Oo nga, no?
Di ba?
Galing. Oo, Safe Space Heroes, bongga.
Di ba? Safe... Saktong-sakto sa sabi ni Doc kanina. Kasi,
Oo nga.
paano nga ba yung gagawin natin? Yung paano nga ba kakagawa ng safe space sa loob ng bahay o sa labas ng bahay? May tanong ba kayo tungkol doon bilang ating mga safe space heroes, Sarah or Joshua?
Siguro one of the questions po, no, is actually if recently, no, especially those who are coughing, napakalaki pong trigger sa public na nilalayuan nila yung simpleng ubo, yung simpleng cough lang or summit, parang inaalisan na nila. So how do we create a safe space or how do we make people feel safe even when they're outside without getting traumatized na baka may COVID or because of bullying at its core.
Sobrang relevant ng question, Josh. Kasi nga naman ngayon, yung mga tao lumalayo kasi pag umubo ka, parang ang laking kasalanan mo na kaagad. 'Di ba? Parang anong nagawa mo? Parang krimen na yung nagawa mo kasi umubo ka, pero yun pala nabahin ka lang, o yung naamoy ka lang na matindi yung amoy. Ano kayang take dito ng ating resident psychologist? Kamusta tayo, AJ? Anong take mo doon? Paano nga ba natin ma-approach yung ganong situation?
Thanks, Lex. And thanks just for the question. And totoo naman na actually, yung lahat naman tayo ngayon, napakataas ng ating emosyon and sensitivity when it comes to anything related to COVID. Diba? We've been here for over a year and we want it to be over. Siguro, ang mas-suggest ko lang sa ganung sitwasyon ay really, parang nga, sinabi na rin to kanina na to find your safe space dahil nga ngayon may sensitivity ng mga tao eh. And while hindi natin makakontrol kung anong reaction ng ibang tao, we can manage how we react. And of course, we have to come from a position of empathy rin. Na lahat ng tao ngayon, takot magka-COVID, takot na mahawaan, at kahit sabihin natin na wala kang maling ginagawa at wala naman talagang maling ginagawa, hindi maling umubo. Importante lang na huwag natin ito i-take as something na dapat katakutan. Lalo nga na kung ito ay hindi pa nag-escalate at huwag natin hayaang mag-escalate. Dahil mahirap na kung nagkaroon tayong konfrontasyon dahil lang sa itong mga bagay. Siguro isa ring masabi ko dito, this is why sobrang importante nga tayo dapat sumunod sa ating mga health protocols, face masks at face shield dahil hindi lang ito pumatekta sa sarili mo, pero sa kapwa rin. Pero ito yung pumatekta rin sa pananaw ng iba. Kasi diba kung alam ng tao na umubo to pero naka-face shield naman, naka-face mask naman, na yung mga particulates, yung mga droplets, mababa ang chance ang dapuan. Kahit sabihin natin may takot pa rin ng COVID. So importante na gawin pa rin ito kahit nasa labas tayo. At alam ko, lalo na ngayon ang init, ang hirap mag-face shield, mag-face mask sa init na to. On it is, of course, in ng water, make sure that you're not putting yourself at risk so that you don't put others and your own self at further harm from COVID.
Maraming salamat, AJ. That's very important. No? Kaya nga, bago pa nag-umpisa itong Alaga Health Life, ang dami nating mga commercials. Lahat galing from DOH to remind everyone na meron pa rin tayong pandemic and dapat lahat aware na dapat mag-face shield, mag-mask at magpabakuna kapag pwede na. So, maybe we can jump naman sa ating mga young professionals or even mga fresh off college or those who are trying to get their groove back. Kasi ang pinakatinamaan daw ngayong COVID-19 season or this pandemic ay yung ating mga kabataan that are entering the workforce or are young. I'd like to ask, Ymari, kumusta? May tanong ka ba pagdating sa area na to when it comes to handling, adjusting to the pandemic, especially na magulo lahat, pati yung mga challenges every day, parang mas trumiple. Any thoughts, my dear?
Ayan, thank you, Kuya. So siguro po, no, tama, especially when it comes to our workplace, no. Medyo mahirap po talaga maghanap ng trabaho ngayon dahil yun nga, madaming requirements and also yung setup natin na work from home is not okay with everyone. Hindi po lahat may access to do it. And siguro po, one question na I'd like to ask na always ko din pong nare-receive from other young people is that how can we cope po with the challenges that we are facing po, especially when it comes to employment or entrepreneurship ng mga bataan po. Ayun po.
Mabigat yung question na yun. I think kailangan ng full force powers ito. Maybe we can go with Doc Via and then probably Doc Joan as well and even AJ, no? Kasi medyo mabigat yung tanong na yan. Pinakamabigat na tanong yan for a lot of our viewers right now. So, any thoughts, Via?
Wow, oo nga naman, no? They come in at full force talaga itong mga advocates natin and our champions as well. And I'm very happy to see them here, along, of course, with my dear mentor. Hi, Doc Joan. It's so great to see you here with us right now. And of course, this has all been possible because of the help of our champions, the help of our mentors, and the help of our experts who have been with us in the advocacy for mental health. So very, very, very relatable. Minsan nga ako nakaka-relate. Kasi employment and sustaining yourself during the pandemic has been very challenging for a lot, especially because there have been a lot of shifts in how businesses have been dealt with and how economies have been shifted. And it has actually a toll on our health, and not just the physical health, but incorporated with us yung kalusugang pangkaisipan natin, no? So, paano nga ba? How do we cope with yung problems with employment as a person who might have been, syempre yung iba sa atin might have been terminated from their jobs, no, because of cutting costs, no, doon sa companies. Some of us might have to venture another endeavor because hindi na siya naging viable kasi sa pandemic na to, ang daming changes na nangyayari, and that has actually a lot of effects on our psyche, no? The uncertainty of not knowing kung saan, ano yung pampambayad ko ng bill ko sa susunod na buwan, anong kakainin ko sa susunod na araw. Yung walang kasiguraduhan ng buhay ay isang stressor na papasama doon sa kalusugang pangkaisipan natin. At this is something that goes beyond the realm of health, no? So what is important, and this is something that I have learned from my mentors, especially Doc Joan, and as well as from the participants that I have with my initiatives in my mental health advocacy, is that dealing with problems of uncertainties because of employment, you have to first recognize that there will be times that the stress is really there, no? That the stress will really cause you anxiety, no? It's very important, especially dun sa sinabi ni AJ and ni Doc Joan, to have that awareness, not only of the surroundings that you have, the condition that you're currently in, but how you're responding to that condition, no? It's very important to be rooted in your own psyche, and don't worry if you can't do that initially, no, or hindi mo siya makgamay sa isang tulog lang. That takes a lot of practice, that takes a lot of introspection, and of course that takes a lot of consulting with not only to our experts but also to the people that we trust, no? So that is very important in terms of grounding ourselves. And by being aware and by accepting that this is something that is causing me stress right now, and this is something that I have to deal with, no, will help us gain that stamina, that vigor to be able to start again. Kasi if pipilitin mong mag-umpisa ulit without rooting yourself, without grounding yourself first, you might end up detonating when you already, pag pinilit mo yung self mo to kickstart again, no? So take time for yourself first. Gather all your energies, gather your physical strength, talk to the people that you trust, and then malay mo, they can give you opportunities not only for employment, but also for endeavors that might make you happy, make you satisfied in terms of your personal, professional life, but can give you financial stability as well.
Alright, thank you for that, Doc Via. Actually, may nakita na akong question dito sa ating comment section, no? So we'll just tatago natin siya sa pangalang Ryan. Ang tanong niya, and I think kayang-kaya itong sagutin ni Doc Joan, may consult lang daw siya. Kasi natakot daw siyang pumunta sa ibang lugar, malayo man o malapit. Tapos takot daw siyang bumiyahe kahit anong klaseng transportation. Kasi para lagi daw niya, parang may nagpo-push na tatalon siya ng sasakyan, nagpapanik din daw siya pag nasa bus at naninigas yung buong katawan niya at kaya pinipili na lang niya na parang nasa bahay na lang and he has been at home for over 6 years. So kung sa atin, nahihirapan na tayong magstay sa loob ng bahay during this a year or so period of the pandemic, siya 6 years. Never din naman daw siya nagkaroon ng bisyo, kaya he'd like to know kung ano nga ba yung take dito ng ating mga eksperto. I'd like to throw this to Doc Joan. Ano nga po bang approach natin dito, Doc Joan, lalo sa mga ganitong klaseng situation?
Yes, thank you very much for the question from our viewer, di ba? Na tinago sa pangalang Ryan. Thank you very much. Yes, not really understandable na merong pangamba na yung mga dinescribe na simptomas na yung parang may takot, merong pangamba, no, pagsasakay ng public transport. Those are signs or symptoms of an anxiety problem or disorder. Pero mga anxiety symptoms sila, no, or pwede pang iba pang mga simptomas ng other underlying problems. But ang important siguro kasi 6 years, no. Usually kasi meron kaming sinasabi, no, na kung in any mental health concern, ang mga tatlo, o di ba tatlo, diretso kaagad tayo ha, tatlong red flags, no, for us to say na this is beyond, no, the usual or yung the normal, no, na behavior ng isang individual. So ito yun, no, number 1, kung masyado nang matagal, so prolonged, no, sa duration wise. So yung 6 years, Ryan, no, medyo matagal na yun. And I think, no, kaya nga nag-raise ka ng question kasi it can be a source of concern really kasi ang tagal na noon, 6 years, and I'm not sure kung may nakausap ka na ba tungkol nito. Number 2, kung nakaka-apekto na to, no, sa role mo, sa functionality mo, be it sa trabaho mo, sa mga relationships mo sa iyong family members, yung mga friends. Halimbawa, parang takot ka nang lumabas or bumiyahe to visit your friends, to go to your office, mag-report sa opisina kaya lagi ka na absent, for example. Or nagkukos na ng conflict sa pamilya kasi hindi mo sila nadadalaw pag weekend, for example. So, kung may mga epekto na to sa yung functionality or productivity, be it self-care, relationships, interpersonal relationships, or sa work or academics, then it's a source of concern also. And lastly, may nabanggit ka kasi doon, Ryan, na parang may takot din about self-harm or harm from someone else. So, mas maganda, mas masuri iyon kasi we know, of course, no, sa medisina kasi ano talaga natin 'yan, no? Yan ang ating priority lagi. Safety is the priority, na safety lagi. So, mas maganda if meron kang makausap, Ryan, kung sa ngayon hirap pa, no, because of the ongoing GCQ or community quarantine, there are mga online, Ryan, na pwede natin tawagan, and they offer mga free online counseling or services. And especially, no, with the DOH partnering with the National Center for Mental Health, meron silang 24 hours a day, 7 days a week na helpline for crisis or any form of mental health concern. So I hope, Ryan, na may makausap ka kasi definitely never too late na may makausap kung wala pang nakausap in that span of 6 years. Never too late to seek help and talk to someone about it.
Thank you for that, Joan. No? Actually, meron din po nag-comment dito. Tago natin siya sa pangalang J-Win. Same situation din daw po yung mom niya. Dati, almost 10 years nang hindi namalabas ng bahay. At hirap daw mag-commute. Pero before that, nakakalabas naman din daw siya. So mukhang same situation. Marami ang nakakaranas no nabanggit na situation kanina. So sana, J-Win, napakinggan mo yung sinabi ni Doc Joan para magabayan yung mommy mo. Para din naman, para may malapitan din tayo na mga specialista at makausap pa lalo para makitignan natin kung paano natin siya masusolusyonan sana. Ito, tanong ko muna. Ito, meron na naman tayong tanong dito sa comment section. Tago rin siya sa pangalang Reyna. Sabi niya, I was diagnosed with having depression since 2018. pero paputol-putol po yung treatment ko. Ang tanong niya, may chance pa po ba akong gumaling? Sige, tanongin natin dito naman si AJ. Ito for sure kasi you see patients every so often seeking consult with you. So, ano yung sasabihin mo kay Reyna if kausap mo siya ngayon? Alam ko nanonood siya ngayon.
And that is definitely naman. And actually, Reyna, kung saan nanonood ka na hindi ganun ka-rare, ang paputo-puto ng treatment, actually madalas na nangyari. Kasi madalas titigil natin treatment pagka either tingin natin okay na tayo or life gets in the way nga, sasabi natin. I hope this, hindi ka ma-stop na yung will na mag-seek ng treatment pagka kaya mo na or tingin mo ready ka na. Dahil dito lang naman ang mga professional para tumulong sa'yo. Depression, it's never too late to seek for help. And there will always be ways to support and help you. And the mere fact that you're asking now is really such a good sign. So hopefully, may makausap ka, may makontak ka, that you can already go back to your treatment para, tuloy-tuloy na natin mapagaling o mawala ang ating depression.
Thank you for that, AJ. Maraming salamat. Ngayon, tanong naman tayo ulit sa ating mga panelists. No? I'm very sure na mayroong tanong ulit isang mga safe space heroes natin ng Global Peace Foundation. And alam ko, siya, fitness buff to. And sobrang hiling nitong maglalabas kasi tatakbo siya, mag-exercise, part of taking care of her mental well-being. Paano ngayon? Hirap lumabas basta-basta. Kailangan nakamask. Para naka-apekto ba yun sa'yo? How did that affect your mental health? Even your physical fitness, no? Lalo na yung ating mga gym buffs dito na naggalit na sarado yung mga gyms, di ba? Or may other questions ka ba? Any thoughts, Sarah?
Yes, thanks. Thank you for that, Dr. Dex. Na-reveal tuloy yung sekreto ko to maintain my sanity ngayong pandemic. Actually, yun talaga yung outlet ko na lang, no? Nag-explore ako ng mga fitness activities na pwede kong gawin. Actually, indoors, both indoors and outdoors. Pag outdoors, syempre, you have to do it safely, of course. Gusto ko yung tanong kanina ni Ymari. Gusto ko lang din i-connect. And nabanggit na rin ni Sir AJ kanina, nabanggit niya about depression, no? So ako kasi on a personal level, I have a full-time job, no? In case naman doon sa mga may full-time work. At the same time, I'm running a non-profit organization, mga advocacy tayo, no? And then you're managing the household, nasa bahay tayo, tulad na nabanggit din kanina. And we have extracurricular activities din. Yung nabanggit ni Dr. Dax kanina na yung may mga nag-jump rope, tumatakbo, ganyan. So ang daming nangyayari. And minsan, personally napapagod na rin ako. Yan. So, and minsan naman nade-depress na rin ako. So, hindi ko na siya ma-differentiate actually. Paano mo ma-differentiate kung yung burnout sa depression? I mean, minsan kasi hindi ko na maano yung feelings ko. Like, am I tired because I'm sad? Or am I sad because I'm tired? So, paano natin ma-differentiate yung depression and burnout at this time?
Sige, thank you for that, Sarah. No? Nakikita rin sa mismong Zoom call natin. Relate na relate din si Alyannah. Felt the pagod, sis. Relate na relate kasi she's also leading and running an organization. Siguro tanongin natin, isa pang taong sobrang hilig din mag-work. Doc Via, anong take mo sa question ni Sarah pagdating nun? Am I sad because I'm tired or am I tired because I'm sad?
Nako, mahilig mag-work. Lahat ata tayo dito mahilig mag-work. Kaya tayo nandito sa advocacy na to, no? And that's why we're here talking about this right now because we love working towards advocacy such as this, no? And of course, kahit na we do this because we want to push for something, mapapagod din tayo. And nakaka-relate, no? Yung am I tired because I'm sad or am I sad because I'm tired? Actually, it's a vicious cycle. You don't know where one ends and when one begins, no? It can really be a circular situation because minsan it doesn't matter whether ano ba yung nag-cause ng tiredness or ng sadness mo, if it's one over the other. But what is important is that that awareness that you are actually tired, that you're actually sad, no, and that you gave yourself that leeway to allow yourself to feel that, no. And very very telling of how people have been actually disturbed by the notion of mental health and the mental health conditions that surrounds it, no? What is the difference between burnout and depression? Nako, Doc Joan is my mentor at naging teacher ko din siya sa med school, so dapat masagot ko to ng tama. Kundi babawiin niyo yung grade niya sa akin. But there are certain clinical criteria, no, that we would look at to be able to diagnose major depressive disorder because it's a diagnosable condition. And one of the burnout that we might be experiencing or yung mga sintomas ng burnout gaya ng ayoko nang, nakakaranas ka na ba? Feeling ko yung mga lahat tayo dito na mahilig mag-work, nakaranas na na ayokong bumangon. So paggising ko, parang gusto ko na lang mahiga, wala akong ganang magtrabaho. Either ayokong kumain or gusto ko lang kumain, that can also be a sign, no? Wala akong gana. I just want to just float in life. Parang you don't have the energy to do things. You're always tired, you always sleep or you cannot sleep. Those are symptoms. And there are clinical criteria that we would look at for us to diagnose that being a depression disease already or a major depressive disorder. And we would look at the time, no, na nangyayari yon. Kasi sabi nga ni Doc Joan, yung prolonged na symptom of that, no? Kung palagi mo yung nararanasan day in and day out for a certain period of time, you may have to have or to be assessed by a professional, no? By a health professional or by a mental health professional in terms of looking at the condition in general. We also look at yung sinabi kanina ni Doc Joan, yung functionality or meaning, nakaka-function ka ba? Nagagawa mo pa bang maligo? Nagagawa mo bang kumain sa araw-araw? Do you do or are you able to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish? And that's actually a sign that we would want to look at, no? Actually, burnout and depression is parang yan sila. It's like a one-way road, no? Yung difference lang is we look at the certain period of time and the functionality of the person in terms of how they're able to cope with and how they're able to accomplish their daily tasks, no? And important that if you've already experienced the symptom, kung nakaranas ka na ng instances wherein palagi ka na lang pagod, nasa bahay ka lang pero pagod na pagod ka, you always sleep, you always want to eat or you don't want to eat, maybe it's time for you to see someone, no? Maybe it's time for you to ask for help already. And that's why we have to go back to the notion of being grounded in the self, no? And don't worry, being grounded in the self doesn't mean that you have to do it alone. Being self-aware can actually be aided by someone that you trust, no? It doesn't have to be a self-limited activity, no? Because first and foremost, tayo ay a community. We are a community wherein we are bound to help each other, no? So, and self-awareness is part of being in a community, no? If hindi natin kaya to reach that, we can always ask for help. And of course, this is where Alaga Health and all our mental health professionals can help, no? Because Alaga Health will always be there to take care of you, gaya nga ng tagline natin, no? Alaga Health, no? And Dex, no, very, very timely itong pinag-uusapan ngayon, especially since we are here with our experts, no? We are here with our mental health professionals, our advocates, no? And especially in tandem with Alaga Health, how can we, no, sana bridge that, no, in terms of pushing for those mental health advocacies and of course providing people with the care that they need.
Thank you for that, V. I actually very much agree with what you said. No? That's why we're Alaga Health. The concept is healthcare anytime, anywhere, in every way. So whether it's telehealth, whether it's a clinic visit, whether it is a home visit, or probably even pre-booked lab tests or lab tests done in your home. Plus, may dagdag pang feature, Alaga Learn, wherein you can actually earn discounts when you do well when you come to answer all of our health-related questions after watching fun videos. Isn't that nice? Sulit pa. Plus, may dagdag pa dun. Because recently, Alaga Health has teamed up with Hello Doctor, a company that is an affiliate of, or at least an extension of, the Hello Health group that is present in multiple countries in Southeast Asia, always providing you with medically validated content. And that's absolutely great. And let's see how exactly Alaga Health and Hello Doctor can help you more so na may bago ng website ang Alaga Health. So let's all watch this. Lagi ng symptoms ng depression. 100% daw po tugma lahat ng symptoms na nararamdaman niya. Overthinking, irritable, minsan may oras na masaya tapos bigla na lang maiinis at mahirap i-explain yung nararamdaman. Doc John, ano yung masasabi niyo doon sa mga pasyente po natin or sa mga kababayan po natin na parang nag-google sila ng kanilang sintomas na pansin nila na, uy, tugmang-tugma, what's the next step? Ano nga po ba yung gagawin na nila dapat?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. Yung nag-question. Thank you, no? Kasi at least meron siyang that self-awareness is there, no? Na parang nung narinig niya si Dr. Via, I think, no, narinig niya si Dr. Via kanina, kaya parang nag-check siya, no? But ako, let's always be careful also, ha? So find the balance always, no? Kasi sometimes yung paghanap natin, no? Pag-search sa internet, medyo, ano din siya, no? May mga disadvantages or may mga harm, no? It may cause some harm also kung walang proper guidance, no? From a mental health professional. So careful lang din tayo of the searches. Mas maganda pa rin, we seek professional help. We ask the mental health professionals kung hirap man to seek help ngayon, start muna, no? Halimbawa, kung student yung nagtanong, start muna with our guidance counselor sa school, or baka meron silang doctor, no, sa school, etc. So careful always sa mga yung mga self-questionnaire, no, na mga ina-answer sa web. Careful po kasi we know na sometimes no, it can cause more harm than good when we self-diagnose ourselves. But always, kung meron nga, no, like yung kung narinig kanina from the expert, no, si Dr. Via, then ako, I would agree, no, seek help always. Ang depression po, no, or any form of mental health concern, no, be it anxiety, like yung kanina, yung nasa bus na medyo hirap siya to travel, depression, as mentioned kanina ni AJ. All of these, in fact, are highly treatable po. No? So wag mawala ng pag-asa, always. All of these are highly treatable, mataas ang recovery rates when we seek, no, proper help from the mental health professional. So wag pong mawala ng pag-asa. Help is always available. And and here, no, we have Alaga Health to help us take the first step towards our healing and recovery from any mental health concern.
Thank you for that, Doc Joan. Meron pa ng questions pa ulit from the Facebook live feed. I think tanong natin to kay Sir AJ. No? Tanong daw nila, tago natin siya sa pangalang Joe. I would like to ask po, how do we deal with cutting relationships with our close friends? Especially siguro this pandemic, ang layo ng distances, pwedeng hindi na sila kasing frequent mag-usap or nagkaroon ng conflict and it's affecting them personally, mental health. How do you actually approach this to not bother you that much or probably to process it better so that you can move forward better? Ito, for sure, kayang-kaya ito ni AJ. Go ahead, AJ.
Actually, may sa usapang therapy kasi, therapy always deals with change. And with any kind of change, may kawalan, may loss. And with any kind of loss, we have grief. And, diba, especially when a relationship ends, pinagluluksaan yan eh. And sometimes we underestimate it, na di naman to jowa, di naman to girlfriend, di naman to boyfriend. Na, how do we grieve? Saan natin lalagay ang sarili ko on how do we feel about this? But give yourself that, na grief to, na talagang kailangan to magdaan proseso. Kasi, diba, importanteng tao to sa'yo, it's a close friend, and for a lot of possible reasons, things happen between the two of you na hindi na healthy, hindi na kaya maintain relationships. And you've made the decision to cut off or walk away from it. Na okay lang pagluksaan to, okay lang tratuhin to para sa kung anong bigat niya talaga. And we have this culture minsan that we try to minimize these things dahil nga kaibigan lang yan, gano'n lang yan. Pero especially ngayong pandemya, sobrang importante ng ating mga kaibigan, sobrang bigat ng ginagawa ating mga kaibigan para sa atin, na ang sakit mawalan. So let's respect that kind of thing.
Thank you for that, AJ. No? Mabigat
Ang
talaga.
dami atang natamaan.
Oo.
Even our champions have their
Sumasabot
own
mo.
reactions. Even I have my own reactions. Doc Joan, meron ka bang reaction?
Magsusuot na daw ng shield yung isa, tapos importanteng tao ito sa'yo. Ako na lang ang pagluksa. Grabe, ang bibigat.
Ang daming tinamaan ni AJ.
Ang tindi. At ito, for sure, ibahin naman natin yung vibe para marinig ng ating mga mental health professionals yung sagot ng ating mga mental health champions. Kasi for sure, nararanasan nila to. Oh, don't worry, hindi naman to quiz, guys. Wala namang exam dito, di ba, Doc Joan? So, kasi may nagtanong sa Facebook natin, may nagtanong sa Facebook Live natin. Ito, taga na siya sa pangalang Krisha. Hello po, question. I have a lot of peers and acquaintances and friends who come to me to vent about their mental health. Tapos I always lend an ear because I know they need someone. Kasi feel nila strong sila. So may mga kapitan. But sometimes I get burnt out and depressed too. I often feel like I'm carrying the weight of everyone's problems on my shoulders. How can I establish boundaries without hurting my friends and harming their mental health? Nako, swak na swak to. Mga mental health champions under the test ng ating mental health professionals. Actually, you can answer it as our part of our panel. We can also ask our mental health professionals. Now, tanongin natin sila Alyannah, sila Ymari, sila Sarah, Joshua, and pati na rin siguro sila Doc Via, Doc Joan, at si AJ. So, any thoughts? Pwede naman pwede naman maglabas ng feelings. Okay lang, okay lang yan. Bakit daw puro tungkol sa friends at heartaches? Grabe naman. Makaka-relate dito sa chat box natin. Sige. Any thoughts? Sige, taas ng kamay si Alyannah. Expert ba natin si Alyannah pagdating sa mga ganyan? Sige, game. Go, Alyannah. What are your thoughts?
Grabe naman yung expert. Hindi, siguro on a personal, experience ko lang. No? I'll share my experience. I usually get this because when my friends actually knew that I'm in the mental health advocacy, they always think that, I'll be a good someone to talk to. Well, technically, being in this advocacy, yun talaga yung gusto kong maparating dun sa mga kaibigan ko. But at the same time, given also all the difficulties that we are experiencing, yung mga naririnig ko from people that strangers nga even, yung tumatawag sa numbers din namin, etc. Lagi kong sinasabi to sa rest of my team, it's really prioritizing yourself first. So if you don't actually feel that you're in your best self to actually hear someone's difficulties or challenges, talagang sinasabi ko sa kanila na if that particular person is really dear to you, then he or she will also understand that you're not in your best self to actually hear yung kanyang problema. Pwede naman din na ang gawin natin, friend, I really want to help you, but at this time, at this moment, I'm also in my vulnerable state. Let me get back to my toes and I'll of course hear you out when I'm okay. Usually, ganun yung ginagawa namin. And ganun yung sinasabi ko din sa rest of the team. Ngayon, establishing boundaries din sa mga relasyon natin. Gusto ko lang din talagang i-emphasize ko ano nga ba yung isang healthy relationship. Sa isang healthy relationship, kailangan we feel valued, we feel supported, we feel loved. And definitely, given na dapat yung lahat ng relationships natin ay healthy, then if sasabihin mo sa kaibigan mo na hindi ka okay at this time, hindi siya actually magtatampo sa'yo. No? But then, kung magtatampo siya sa'yo, then it's something to really evaluate. Kaibigan ba talaga siya? Kung gusto niya pa rin na gusto pa rin niya na ipagpilitan yung kanyang thoughts on a person, on a friend na hindi okay at that time. So it's really evaluating yung ating relationships, prioritizing ourselves first. And if the time comes na dumating nga yung hindi ka rin okay, tapos meron kang kaibigan na lumapit sa'yo, then probably you have to be very much honest to him or her. Kasi that would, of course, help you and him or her as well. Kasi hindi naman pwede na hindi ka okay, tapos tatanggapin mo yung kanyang rants, for example. Then dalawa na kayo, hindi naging okay afterwards. And that's something that's very tragic. Syempre, there's also the concept of a support system. So baka naman there are other peoples in the group or in the barkada, na pwede nating kausapin. Na baka pwede naman na hindi lang laging ikaw yung kakausapin, but other people as well. So baka lang pwede nating makultivate din yung support group system, or baka pwede natin din mapag-usapan sa ating mga support groups. Okay, si Yana hindi okay at this time, baka si RJ pwede siya ngayon, for example. Kasama ko si RJ kasi right now. So, yung mga ganun ba? So that's what we usually do, and I hope that particular situation can also be helpful for the rest of you guys.
Ayun. So, nakikita naman natin. Doc Joan, EJ, approve ba tayo sa sagot ng ating lead mental health chairperson advocate? Okay ba, Doc?
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, I would like to add, very good, tama. Very, very well said, Alyannah. Di ba may kasabihan, na we cannot give what we do not have. So dapat talaga, uunahin natin sarili. Kasi kung mauna natin sarili, we give priority to ourselves, mas marami, in fact, tayo matutulungan when we start with ourselves first. Di ba dapat kaya always yun start with self. Kaya madaming mga self-love, self-care, self-compassion, etc. Kasi always yun, when we take good care of ourselves, then we are able to take care of more people, more clients, more patients under our care.
Pasok na pasok sa banga. Thank you for that, Doc John. Ito, may follow-up na medyo relate din. Galing din sa Facebook live comment natin. Tago natin siya sa pangalan na Mars. No? Legit, Mare. Let's go. How to help and communicate to a friend who is diagnosed with multiple personality disorder or any mental health disorder. Medyo challenging yun kasi baliktad yung kanina. Yung isa na-feel niya na burnt out na siya. Ito, just really wants to find out naman, ano nga ba yung tamang way? Kasi iba-iba ang mental health conditions, iba-iba yung concerns. Ano nga ba yung way? Siguro let's have a very quick answer from some of our panelists. Pwede si Sarah, si Joshua, or si Ymari. Then let's get the take of probably AJ or even Doc Joan and Via. Ano yung take nyo for this one? What's your approach? Let's see yung comparison. Sige, probably we can ask Sarah or Ymari or even Joshua.
Nag-raise na ako ng hand. Sorry po, no.
Yun.
Pero I think na-experience ko siya with my project before sa school. We established mental health support groups. And yun rin yung pinaka-target na, yung palaging question namin, how do we interact? How do we communicate? Turo sa amin nun ng mga partner orgs namin, like Philippine Mental Health Association, is actually to be sensitive. You need to immerse yourself with what they're feeling. So, particularly being empathetic, yun yung tinuro sa amin. And it's also important to use words na maiintindihan nila, yung hindi magbibigay ng double meaning kasi pwede mag-trigger yun ng different consequences, lalo na pag medyo hindi yun yung naging pag-code niya dun sa message na gusto mong ibigay. Pero ayun, be sensitive, put yourself in their shoes, and also do not force them to open up. It's always important to respect their time, to respect their pace. Kasi minsan hindi sila ready to open up, hindi mo sila pwedeng pilitin, baka mas lalo silang lumayo. So it's important na sila yung lalapit, sila rin yung mag-open up. So, yun po.
Ayun, thank you for that, Josh. May mag-a-add pa ba bago natin itanong ang same question sa ating health professionals? By the way, shoutout nga po pala sa ating friend na si RJ. Birthday niya today. Chairperson ng first
Happy birthday, RJ!
for Mental Health Coalition. Okay, so
Happy birthday!
friends tayong lahat. Okay, so may dadagdag ka pa ba dyan, Ymari or even Sarah? Any thoughts dun sa question? What's your approach? How do you really, ito as a coach siguro, Ymari, ng NYC Mental Health Youth Hub ng NYC. Ano yung approach nyo sa NYC?
Ayun. Siguro, no, very relatable yung question ni Joshua. And I remember this line from Ate Via that always remember that our words can make or break a person. So it's very important that we are mindful when we are talking to somebody, especially who is a service user or somebody who has mental health problems. So yun, one thing is let's all try to put ourselves in their shoes before saying something to them because we don't know, no, baka nagba-boundary na pala tayo sa toxic positivity or baka naman masyado tayong pushy or so tama yung sabi ni Joshua, no, na instead na mas maging comfortable yung tao sa atin to open up or to share what we're going through, baka mas ma-drive away pa siya. So let's also check our words then. And siguro the last thing that I would like to add is always remind that person that you're there for them na hindi pinipilit. So a simple kamusta is very powerful. A simple I am here for you is also powerful na alam nung kaibigan mo that you're there for them. Ayun po. Miss Sarah.
Sarah, anything to add? As a safe
Na
space?
ang ganda ng mga ng mga sagot. Like, actually, yun din yung sagot ko. Like, for Josh, yung empathy talaga, no? You just have to, di mo kailangan siya ma-experience firsthand. You just have to, siguro, listen. Yung siguro yung sagot ko, yung active and empathic listening. Makinig lang tayo. Kasi sometimes, our friends, hindi naman, minsan nagko-consult sila o nagsasabi sila sa atin ng mga problems, not to really find answers, but just to find someone na may masasabihan lang nila, na mafe-feel lang nila na, oh, someone's there for me to listen to what I'm feeling, to what I'm going through right now. So for me, it's just to listen and be there for your friend.
Ayun, thank you for that, Sarah. Ngayon, let's get some expert advice naman. Tawagin naman natin si AJ. Let's have your thoughts on this. Ano nga ba yung usually na sinasagot mo sa tanong na to? Especially when people ask you, AJ, ano nga ba yung tamang approach when I want to help someone with their mental health concern or mental health problem? And then tanong din natin si Doc Joan as our resident expert and celebrity doctor.
So first off, thank you Ymari, Sarah, and Josh for that. And I think I really support what you all said. Siguro gusto ko lang dagdag ay huwag natin kalimutang tanungin ang personal mental health condition na concern kung ano ba ang gusto nating paraan para makausap sila or maintindihan ng kondisyon nila. Dahil no one will know what they're going through than them. Parang sila ang pinaka-eksperto ng experience na to, sila pinaka-eksperto ng pinagdaanan nila. Lalo nga na, diba, pagdating sa usapan ng mental health, kahit sabihin natin may checklist tayo ng kondisyon, ng mga simptomas, hindi lahat to pare-pareho nag-manifest sa ating mga kaibigan, ating mga kilala. So may mga pinakaiba ito at yung paano nila ito nirespondan, paano ito parang isa sa buhay ay iba rin. So first and foremost, we should ask them first on how do they want to be talked to, how do we want to parang make concessions or make adjustments regarding their mental health concern, and we can go from there.
Okay, and now let's ask Doc Joan. Any thoughts, Doc, when it comes to this? As for sure, you've seen so many patients already asking how people can help them, and at the same time, people, especially family members, asking how can I help my family member or my friend or significant other undergoing mental health concerns.
Yes, in fact, Dr. Dex, lahat ng sinabi nila, wala na akong masabi. Hindi, joke lang. Isa-summarize ko na lang. 3 final points siguro for tonight, no, in terms with regards to this question. Laging tatlo, no, pag nagbibigay ako ng pointers. Number 1, empathy is very important, as mentioned kanina. Empathy talaga, it's really the first step now. We really feel, we really go through kung ano man yung pinagdadaanan ng ating kausap, be it family or friends or colleagues sa trabaho. Number 2, and it's very important, and I mentioned ito, listen and learn about the friend's story. It's important to listen, kahit listen lang, no, but active listening is very important. When we listen, of course, sometimes listen siya, but sometimes no, may kailangan din tayong masabi or sabihin, please, ito lang kasi ito nalulungkot ako sometimes sa clinic pag may mga narinig ako gito, parang may mga judgmental comments. So let's avoid that, no? That's always, when we listen, let us always be non-judgmental. Bawal judgmental, o di ba? Kasi sometimes, no, yung halimbawa nag-absent kasi bagsak ang energy, no? Bagsak ang energy. We know na it's because of the biological neurotransmitters sa brain. Bagsak ang serotonin, bagsak ang dopamine, bagsak ang norepinephrine, lahat. So walang energy. Tapos sasabihin, ay, arte-arte lang yan, ha? Kasi ayaw mo lang talagang pumasok. Oh my God! So please po, for those of us listening tonight, let us always be non-judgmental, listen and learn. And of course, lastly and very importantly, make sure na our friends or our loved ones are always safe. Again, safety is the priority, and no, kung ano nang to, magawa natin itong tatlo, then talagang our world will be a very, very better place for all of us.
Yan, you heard it right from our celebrity psychiatrist. Kita-kita dito sa chat, no? Sabi pa nga ni Sarah, pang TV talaga si Doc Joan, ibang level talaga. Diba? And I just realized it's been an hour. Hindi ko lang naramdaman. And it's been such a wonderful time talking with everyone. Thank you at maraming salamat sa mga kasama natin sa Facebook Live. And since we're about to wrap up, probably we can do a round of final words. Kumbaga, in the shortest amount of time possible, what is your number 1 mental health tip? Umpisahan na natin doon sa ating mga panelists. Umpisahan na natin siguro from, sa mga bumati rin kanina, kina RJ and to everyone else from the Youth for Mental Health Coalition, Chairperson Alyannah Lagasca.
Maraming salamat, Dex. Siguro isa lang talaga yung mensahe ko para sa lahat, no? Ang pag-maintain po ng ating kalusugang pangkaisipan ay ang ating responsibilidad sa bawat mamamayang Pilipino at syempre na rin sa ating mga sarili. So always be kind to your mind and be kind to each other's minds as well.
All right, thank you for that, Alyannah. And now, maybe let's go on to our resident mentor coach from the NYC Mental Health Youth Hub. Ymari, any final tips?
Yung akin naman po is very personal because it's the hashtag of my MMK. Hashtag always keep going. So whatever you're going through, no, it will pass. Medyo mahirap lang siya. There will be rocks along the road, pero we will get there. We will survive. And always remember to keep going. Yun lang po.
Yon, perfect. Thank you for that, Ymari. And of course, our tandem, Global Safe Space Heroes, the tandem of Sarah and Joshua. Any final tips? Paano nga ba maging safe space hero?
Okay, especially coming from the view of incoming freshman student, no. No matter what results happen in your college application, no, you always need to see things more better, more kagaya nung sabi sa akin ng mentor ko, quoting this from Kuya Dex, it's either you win or you learn, and that's that. So it's very important that if you got rejected, think of it as a redirection, or maybe you have destiny has better plans for you. So good luck.
So, for me naman, no, since yung line of work talaga natin dito, magkakapareho talaga, no. So for me, taking care of others means really taking care of yourself first. And speaking of winning, celebrate your wins, your small wins every day.
Yeah, perfect. Small wins. And speaking of wins, sobrang winner natin ngayon kasi kasama natin ang ating mga mental health professionals. Let's go with the final tips from AJ.
Sa akin naman, I think coming from nga, diba? Ang usapang self-care ay laging nga, mag-isa. Pero I also want to put it na kung tingin nyo, hindi nyo kaya mag-isa, alam naman natin kaya natin magkasama. That there's always a community behind us. There's always a community of mental health professionals, advocates, and supporters out there na ating malapitan. And thank you, Alaga Health, for helping give this platform and helping giving this advocacy more visibility.
Thanks, AJ. And let's ask Doc Via, final tips sa ating mga viewers, lalo na sa Facebook Live.
Alright, no? Pag nasabi na ang lahat ng pwedeng masabi, ang maaari na lang gawin ay isabuhay ito, no? So hopefully with all of the wisdom and the kind words that you're able to hear, ma-apply natin hindi lamang sa sarili natin, kundi sa pagtulong sa iba who are going through a lot of challenges right now, for us to be able to touch lives, no? And hopefully this won't be the end of the platform and this endeavor. No, magkikita-kita pa ulit tayong lahat. Those who are in the panel, our mental health professionals here, Doc Joan and AJ. This won't be the end of it, but a start of something really, really beautiful for mental health and for health in general. Probably last words, no? Kasi nasabi na ang lahat ng pwedeng masabi, ang masasabi ko na lang ay, tulad nga ng sinabi ni Dory, just keeps winning. So we'll see you guys, and hopefully you learned a lot from this session. No? And thank you so much, Alaga Health, for this platform.
All right. Thank you, Via. And actually, we're getting a lot of messages right now sa Facebook message inbox ng Alaga Health asking for another one for mental health. Actually, it looks like ang ganda, nag-resonate talaga ang mental health topic sa ating viewers. At marami tayong questions sa ating Facebook live feed. So, with that being said, last words from Doc Joan. Any final tips, Doc?
Oh, yes, Dr. Dex, nasabi na lahat. But yeah, let's first acknowledge that talagang all of us really are going through extraordinarily challenging times ngayon. So lahat naman tayo, no? Walang pinipili po. And what's important to remember is hindi tayo nag-iisa. You are never alone. Hindi tayo nag-iisa at laging we are all in this together as one community. At nandito po lagi ang Alaga Health to be with everyone through this journey po natin ngayon. So please tandaan lagi na this too short, matatapos din ito, and this is temporary, but at the same time please remember that wag mawala ng pag-asa po. No? Hope is always there, and trust that after this, lalabas tayo lahat as stronger and better individuals, both personally and professionally.
All right. With that being said, thank you, Doc Joan, for those wonderful tips. And before we go, everyone turn on their videos and let's have a very quick photo. Flashing your best smile na para hindi naman tayo sobrang pagod ngayong Saturday evening. All right. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and okay. So thank you for that. And ladies and gentlemen, maraming salamat po sa isa na namang napakasayang kwentuhan. Tune in again next Saturday sa isa na namang 1-hour consultation for free. At the same time, masayang kwentuhan here in Alaga Health Live. And as usual, stay safe, stay well, and very soon, especially coming this June 2021, you will soon get access to healthcare anytime, anywhere, in every way through Alaga Health. So we'll see you all here next week. And always have a good heart for mental health. Bye, everyone!